Hi everyone. Today is Tuesday, March 6, 2019, and I'm going to share some more poetry of my soul. I'm just going to read it, and then I'll talk a little after so you can hear the poem and move on if you want. If it inspires you or resonates, great. And if you want to hear how it came about and how I feel about it, then stick around. And if you're not subscribed and you want to catch the new videos right away when they come out, hit the subscribe button. You know what to do. And thanks to everybody who has subscribed so far to support me in this uncomfortable venture. I much prefer to just stay behind the scenes, but my soul was having none of that. So here it goes. This was written on February 13th, and I was told to share this one today. It's called Death. There we go. Death has come to speak to me and make it clearly known. What is hidden from your very self, you've already been shown. You fear it as you run away, refusing to accept the day when death comes for you anyway. Do you really have a say? When you sit and contemplate all that is profound, the beauty of the universe will bring the lost to found. Society and old beliefs don't fill your heart complete. Stop faking it to your own self, saying there's enough to eat. I speak to you in metaphor to show you that there's so much more. But every day you walk away, you still must pay, and it's okay to feel that way, but don't you want to stay and play every day, every way that you create? Death is just another gate, a promotion when you graduate. I learned how to communicate with family past before, who already use the door. They show how it's already right, still shining their own light. They still exist eternally, while we are fearing what's to be. Stop thinking that you're broken, unable to be woken, until it's time to die, when people tend to cry. And much to your surprise, you find you're still alive. Everything you came to do to express the inner you has reached a point in destiny never before in history. It's really not a mystery. It's everything you came to see. Veils are lifting more each day. The truth will be revealed. So reconnect your higher self and see what was concealed. Speak your voice and do not fear when the day will come. The truth of death demystified. We are all the one. So, like I was saying, it's been a really tough week for me emotionally. I have been doing this a very long time, spiritual work that is, and I know and I preach to all my family and anyone who listen, that when emotions come, not to hold on to them, to let them pass through, but to fully feel them so that you're not owning them if it's somebody else's or it's something that wants to come up and be released. Don't hang on to it. And yet this week, it's like the more I integrate my highest selves and my soul, the more this goes on in multidimensional integration. The deeper and deeper the higher vibrations get down in to help you release. So there's been a lot of emotions coming up, and they're not all bad. It's not that it's all difficult, but the difficult ones of dealing with death and loss, and especially death of a child, is pretty difficult. Just looking at pictures again and having it hit on a whole nother level. It's challenging not to own that kind of pain, because I feel it. It happened to me. I've experienced it. And yet, fully feeling it so it can be transformed is, it's easier said than done, but it gets easier as it goes on. So it might last maybe a few hours or whatever, instead of days or weeks at a time like it did originally a year ago when it first happened. So that's one thing. And then at the same time, as if the universe wasn't going through a whole polar shift, don't tell me there isn't duality that's flipping itself inside out, because At the same time, I, a week ago, had an older brother contact me and my sister to, he wanted to meet us, and he had been given away for adoption, and it's the most joyful thing that could have possibly happened in my life. So at the same time, I'm dealing with the 1-year anniversary coming up in a couple weeks of my son. Also receiving at the same time my brother in my life, and it feels wonderful to say that. And it's the opposing but complementary forces have been truly reflective on the outside in my life this week. And I know a lot of people are going through similar things, and it's just incredible how, as within, so without is going on. As without, so within. As above, so below. It's happening on multi-dimensional platforms. I was waking up the day that I went to meet him, which was Saturday, and he's a wonderful, wonderful person, and we joke because he's just as woo-woo as I am. He even has an animal named Woo-Woo, so it's pretty funny because back in the late 90s and early 2000s, in the 90s and 2000s, you used to talk about this stuff and people call you woo-woo. You talk about that woo-woo stuff. I just think it's really funny that he gets it all. He gets it all. He's very intelligent. He's a funny man, and I'm just so excited to get to know my brother. So anyway, with all that said, I forget what I was going to talk about, except it's just a very good thing that's happening. And knowing that there are other people out there that think the same way, things parallel the same way. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The day that my sister and I and our kids went to meet him and his kids, I woke up in the morning and I hit the snooze button. And I don't usually snooze. I usually just get up when I get up, and then I hit the snooze button. And I went back to sleep, and then I woke up with a phone call to my mother. Except I was dreaming it. But it was so real. And I was talking to her about meeting my brother. And the dream was so real. It was definitely a parallel world. There was a lot of things going on. Some of them are true to what's going on in this world, and some of them are not true. So that can kind of play games with your head when you're trying to figure out how to navigate in this world and this reality, and yet you experience and live in another reality at the same time. So some of this can be a little confusing. I've been going through that confusing thing for a while because I'm able to experience things very clearly and vividly in other realities when I dream. And I am fortunate enough to have been developing that all along my adult years, which is going on about 30 years now. So I'm going to be 50 in May. So I've been doing this since I've been 20 years old. And it's a long time to spend in the dream realm. Well, the good news is you don't have to spend all that time now, and it does take some discipline, but you can do it much, much faster. If you don't think you can recall your dreams, or as soon as you get your lucidity, you wake up, that's okay. There's practice with anything that you want to master, but it can happen a lot faster. It just takes your true intention, your true desire to want to experience these things. And it's a great way to communicate with your star family, with your soul family, with your deceased loved ones, with beings that aren't incarnate right now in a human body, and yet still exist in a very, very real reality that you will get to see soon enough. Is very, very real. Oh, speaking of which, maybe I'll make another. You know what? Let me see. 9 minutes. All right. I'm going to read you another poem really quick. So this came through on January 31st, and I haven't shared this one yet, but I'm just going to give it to you. All right. Ready? Here we go. It's called Decision Time. Accepting downloads integration is the key for inspiration to set you free naturally, organically, if you allow it to be. You know you never can go wrong when your soul sings its song. When your soul sings its own song. one that is your very own within your heart. It has a tone. Or will you groan and sometimes moan, denying what is yours, and thinking it's a chore, and always such a bore, to be present on the shore that is your life? Decisions of reality can sometimes be a catastrophe when you refuse to see all that is meant to be for you. That's it. Short and simple. So that's it. I guess I don't really have too much else to say. We, my higher self, my soul, has pretty much given you everything that I've got for today. It's been draining. I'm going through it too, just like everybody else. We're all going through this recalibration, downloads, transformation, everything that's happening. We're getting ready for spring. It's coming. Hang in there. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Namaste.